My heels click against the polished marble of my apartment building's lobby, echoing in the emptiness of a Tuesday evening. Another 14-hour workday behind me, another milestone reached for Horizon Brands. The client had practically hugged me after my presentation. I check my phone again. Still nothing. The elevator doors slide open with a soft chime, and I step inside, watching my reflection in the mirrored walls. Quinn Edwards, 32 years old today, senior PR executive, wearing exhaustion like an expensive perfume. My green eyes look back at me, searching for something worth celebrating. The number on my screen doesn't change. 0 messages, 0 calls. I tell myself it doesn't matter. I'm a grown woman who handles multi-million-dollar accounts. Birthdays are for children. But when I unlock my apartment door, the small cake I'd bought myself that morning sits accusingly on my coffee table. A single candle stands unlit in its center, a pathetic little soldier awaiting orders that won't come. Happy birthday to me, I whisper to no one. I drop my leather briefcase by the sofa and kick off my heels, sinking onto the cushions. My apartment feels hollow tonight, despite the careful decorating I'd done to make it feel like home. The clock on my wall ticks steadily toward midnight, counting down the final minutes of my birthday. My phone remains stubbornly silent. I reach for my laptop, thinking I'll distract myself with work until this day is officially over. Maybe check that proposal one more time. But instead, my fingers betray me, opening Facebook. The first post freezes me in place. There's my brother Miles, champagne glass raised high, surrounded by smiling faces. Behind him hangs a banner. Congratulations on your promotion. My father's arm is draped around his shoulder, pride radiating from his face. My mother stands on his other side, beaming up at her son. The timestamp shows the photos were posted 4 hours ago. My birthday. I scroll down, each image a fresh wound. Dozens of pictures. The entire extended family there. Aunts, uncles, cousins I haven't seen in years. All gathered around Miles, celebrating. The comments swim before my eyes. So proud of our superstar, my father wrote. The Edwards family legacy continues, my mother added. My hand trembles as I set the laptop down. They didn't forget my birthday. They chose to celebrate something else instead. Again. The memory surfaces without invitation. Sitting alone at the restaurant table, 11 years old, a single birthday candle melting into my cake as I waited for my family to return from Miles's debate competition. They'd promised they'd be back in time. They weren't. Then, at 17, shipped off to Grandma's house on my birthday weekend while my parents toured Yale with Miles. It's his future, Quinn, Dad had explained, not quite meeting my eyes. My college graduation, overshadowed by Miles's engagement announcement at what was supposed to be my celebration dinner. The conversation quickly shifted from my summa cum laude honors to wedding venues and guest lists. Just last month, my father dismissed the Horizon campaign that increased client revenue by 41%. It's just advertising, Quinn, he'd said, glancing at his watch. Not like Miles's work in finance. That's the real impact. I pick up my phone and scroll through my contacts. Family names blur together. People who've never once called to ask about my accomplishments, my struggles, my life. An email notification pops up on my screen. I open it mechanically, then blink at the message. My performance bonus for the Horizon campaign, $82,000. My phone rings, startling me. My mother's name appears on the screen. For one foolish moment, hope flutters in my chest. Hello? I answer, hating the eagerness in my voice. Quinn, darling. My mother's voice bubbles through the speaker. I'm so glad I caught you. Listen, we're planning a little something for Miles and Jessica's anniversary next month, and I was hoping you could help out. Nothing major, just handling the catering and maybe the decorations. You're so good at that sort of thing. The clock strikes midnight. My birthday is officially over. Mom, I say, my voice shaking. Today was my birthday. A pause. Oh, she sounds genuinely surprised. Oh, honey, with Miles's big promotion, it just slipped our mind. Slipped their mind. Like always, I stare at the email still open on my laptop. $82,000. More money than I've ever had at once. Something shifts inside me, like tectonic plates sliding into a new formation. My voice steadies. Don't worry about it, Mom, I say, the words coming from somewhere new and unfamiliar. I understand what's important to this family. And for the first time in my life, I truly do. 4 days later at work, my fingertips hover over the keyboard, frozen in disbelief. The group chat that I am not part of, but thanks to Mom's accidental invitation, I entered it. Threads sprawled across my screen like a crime scene, each message more damning than the last. Quinn should contribute significantly to Miles's anniversary gift, my father wrote. At least $20,000. My mother's reply appears below. She just got that bonus. Time she supports the family for once. And there it is. My name, spelled Quinn, in the family thread. 1, instead of 2. My own mother can't even spell my name correctly. I lean back in my office chair, the leather creaking beneath me. The Chicago skyline stretches beyond my window, buildings glittering in the afternoon sunday. Inside Horizon PR's glass-walled conference room, I'm supposed to be preparing for tomorrow's client meeting. Instead, I'm discovering just how little I matter to the people who should care most. My phone vibrates. Jennifer pokes her head through my doorway, her dark curls bouncing as she enters. "Your brother's online too," she says, then narrows her eyes at my expression. "Everything okay?" "Miles used our contacts at Regen Tech," I say, turning my laptop toward her. "Pulled their marketing director into a meeting for his investment firm, without asking me." Jennifer scans the emails, her frown deepening. "This is the third time he's done this. And your dad thinks you should give him 20 grand for an anniversary party?" She lets out a low whistle. "That's messed up, Quinn." "Apparently it's time I support the family for once," I say, the words bitter on my tongue. "What exactly have they done for you lately?" Jennifer asks, perching on the edge of my desk. Her bluntness is why we've been friends since orientation day 5 years ago. The question hangs in the air as my office phone continues blinking. Miles, waiting for me to pick up. Probably wants another contact, another favor. "Your bonus was well earned," Jennifer continues. "Lawrence wouldn't have approved it otherwise." As if summoned, my boss appears in the doorway. Lawrence Chen, CEO of Horizon PR, immaculate in his charcoal suit despite the late hour. "Quinn, the Westfield campaign numbers just came in," he says, sliding a folder across my desk. 41% increase in their quarterly revenue. The board is ecstatic. His smile reaches his eyes. "This is why I fought for your bonus. You've earned every penny." After he leaves, Jennifer squeezes my shoulder. "See? At least someone appreciates you." I finally answer Miles's call, keeping my voice professional despite the anger simmering beneath my skin. He needs Regen Tech's chief marketing officer at his dinner tomorrow. Important potential client. Family helping family. "I'll see what I can do," I say, non-committal. That evening, I stop at Mrs. Bennett's apartment on the 3rd floor. She opens the door with a warm smile that crinkles the corners of her eyes, the scent of freshly baked cookies wafting from her kitchen. "Right on time," she says, ushering me inside. At 84, Mrs. Bennett moves with the determination of someone half her age. These oatmeal cookies won't eat themselves. We sat at her small kitchen table, the checkered tablecloth soft beneath my fingers. For 3 years, Tuesday evenings have been our ritual. Me bringing takeout, her providing dessert. The family I've chosen rather than the one I was born into. "You look troubled," she observes, pushing the cookie plate closer. I tell her about the emails, about Miles using my contacts, about the $20,000 they expect me to contribute. And they spelled my name wrong. I finish, hearing the childish hurt in my voice. Mrs. Bennett's hand covers mine. Some parents never see their children clearly, too busy looking at their own reflection. Her words follow me home, lingering as I change for the family dinner I've been dreading for days. My apartment feels like a sanctuary now, away from what awaits me at my parents' house. On Saturday evening, the Edwards family mansion looms over Lakeshore Drive, 3 stories of stone and privilege. Inside, my mother, Claudia, fusses with flower arrangements while my father, Richard, pours himself a scotch. Miles and his wife, Jessica, sit on the leather sofa, looking like a country club advertisement. Dinner progresses with the usual choreography. My father dominates the conversation, detailing Miles's recent promotion. My mother interjects with the perfect anecdote. I push salmon around my plate, waiting for the inevitable. "It comes with dessert. Quinn," my father says, setting down his coffee cup with authoritative precision. "We need to discuss your contribution to Miles and Jessica's anniversary celebration." The room seems to contract. All eyes turn to me. 20,000 would cover the venue and catering, he continues. As the only family member with a recent windfall, it seems appropriate. My mother nods, her pearl earrings catching the light. Family supports family, darling. The words trigger something in me. Family supports family. When had they supported me? I can't, I say quietly. My father frowns, not processing my refusal. I beg your pardon? I can't contribute $20,000. My voice steadies. That's a quarter of my bonus. I have other plans for it. Silence descends, thick and unfamiliar. No one in this room is accustomed to hearing no from Quinn Edwards. What other plans could possibly take precedence over your brother's celebration? My father's voice drops dangerously. My future, I answer simply. My mother's face crumples. After all we've done for you, she whispers, tears gathering. The performance is flawless, designed to maximize guilt. What exactly have you done for me? The question slips out before I can stop it. My father rises, towering over the table. I will not tolerate ingratitude in this house. Your brother is the real achiever in this family. The least you can do is support his success. His words strike with precision, finding the bruise he's been pressing my entire life. I stand, legs unsteady beneath me. I need to go, I say, gathering my purse. My mother reaches for my arm. Quinn, please, don't make a scene. But for once, I don't retreat into silence. I don't smooth things over. I walk out the front door, guilt trailing behind me like a shadow. But something else too. Resolution. For the first time in 32 years, I've refused to fade into the background of my brother's life. It feels terrifying. It feels right. In my car, hands still trembling on the steering wheel, I make a promise to myself. This is just the beginning. A week later, Mother calls every morning at precisely 7:15. I've started leaving my phone in the bathroom while I make coffee. Quinn, sweetie, this rebellious phase needs to end. Her voice echoes from the speaker as I apply mascara. Your father hasn't slept properly since that dinner. I watch myself in the mirror, cataloging the familiar tightness around my mouth. Mom, I'm not rebellious. I'm 32. Then why are you breaking our hearts, after everything we've sacrificed for you? The mascara wand freezes midair. What exactly have you sacrificed for me? She gasps, genuinely shocked. How can you ask that? We gave you everything. I have a meeting. I need to go. I hang up before she can respond. By afternoon, my father strides through the glass doors of Horizon Brands, his tailored suit and commanding presence turning heads. Jennifer catches my eye across the conference room, mouthing code red before disappearing. I intercept him near reception. Dad, this is my workplace. Then you should conduct yourself like a professional. His voice carries, drawing attention from nearby cubicles. Professionals honor their family obligations. Lower your voice. I guide him toward an empty meeting room, acutely aware of curious glances. What do you want? Your mother hasn't stopped crying. Is that what you wanted? To punish us because we missed one birthday? The dismissal ignites something molten inside me. Try 20 years of birthdays, graduations, and achievements. You always exaggerate. He checks his watch. The point is, Miles deserves our support. 20,000 from your bonus is more than fair. My phone buzzes with an emergency alert from our biggest client. I have to handle this crisis. We'll talk later. I do too on. This conversation isn't finished, Quinn. Actually, it is. I close the door behind me, hands trembling but voice steady as I dial the client. 3 hours later, I stand before our executive team, presenting the crisis management strategy that saved the Westridge account. My voice doesn't waver once. That was extraordinary work. Our CEO says afterward, hand on my shoulder. You just saved a $3 million account with that quick thinking. The client called me personally to sing your praises. Pride blooms warm in my chest, unfamiliar but welcome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Walking back to my office, I notice 6 missed calls from Miles and a text. Mom's crying every night because of you. Fix this. Fix. I silence my phone and turn to the stack of congratulatory emails from colleagues and clients. The contrast is stark. At work, I'm valued. At home, I'm an afterthought unless I'm giving something. 3 weeks after my birthday, I sit alone in a corner cafe, laptop open, a half-eaten slice of carrot cake beside me. At a nearby table, a group of friends surround a young woman wearing a paper crown. They laugh, offering gifts wrapped in shiny paper. Make a wish, Amanda. Someone calls as she blows out her candles. I watch their easy affection, the genuine celebration of her existence. The realization settles like a stone. I will never have this with my family. No amount of achievement will make them see me. My fingers hover over the keyboard. Without quite deciding to, I type, Lakefront Property, Michigan. The search yields dozens of results. I click on one, a 4-bedroom house with wide windows facing the water, wooden deck wrapping around 3 sides, mature pine trees offering privacy. Price, $365,000. I study the photos, something expanding in my chest with each swipe. This could be mine, my refuge, my choice. The next morning, I call a realtor and arrange a private viewing. 2 days later, I stand on that wooden deck, watching sunlight dance across the lake's surface. The owners are motivated sellers. The realtor explains. They've already moved to Arizona. I'll take it, I hear myself say. I can make a substantial down payment. Her eyebrows lift. Don't you want to think about it? Maybe bring your family to see it? No. The word feels clean, definitive. This is for me. Days later, the mortgage approval comes through quickly, thanks to my excellent credit. I sign papers in a quiet office, each signature feeling like a declaration of independence. Mrs. Bennett, my elderly neighbor who's shown more interest in my life than my mother ever has, accompanies me to the closing. You're doing the right thing, dear, she says, patting my hand as I receive the keys. Sometimes we need to build our own sanctuary. For the first time in weeks, my hands are perfectly steady. I spend weekends at the lake house, transforming it room by room. The walls fill with framed awards and photographs of moments I'm proud of: my college graduation, the team celebration, after landing the Westridge account, the magazine cover featuring my PR campaign. The master bedroom becomes my favorite space. I hang a small wooden sign on the door, the birthday suite. Inside, I place a reading chair by the window overlooking the lake, stack books I've always wanted to read on the nightstand, and splurge on the softest bedding I can find. On a bright Sunday, I type out housewarming invitations to Jennifer, my colleagues, and Mrs. Bennett. My finger hovers over my family contacts, a lifetime of conditioning urging me to include them. Instead, I press send, only to those who have celebrated my successes, who see me clearly. The action feels small but momentous, like the first stone in a foundation of boundaries I'm only beginning to build. That night, I sit on my deck, watching stars reflect on the dark water, phone deliberately left inside. For the first time in my adult life, I feel powerful. Not just successful or accomplished, but powerful in the way that comes from choosing yourself when no one else will. Tomorrow, the calls will continue. The guilt trips will intensify. But here, in this space that belongs only to me, their voices finally begin to fade. On Sunday, my thumb hovers over the post button. 3 deep breaths. Then, I press it. The photo isn't particularly special, just me on the new cedar deck, barefoot with a glass of Pinot Noir, Lake Michigan stretching blue and endless behind me. What matters is the caption, "Weekend at my new lake house, birthday gift, to myself." I set my phone screen down on the weathered wooden railing and lift my face to the golden Michigan sunset. The September air carries a hint of autumn, crisp against my skin. For 20 minutes, I simply breathe, watching light dance across gentle waves, while chickadees call from nearby pines. When I finally check my phone, the notification count stops me cold. 17 missed calls, 32 text messages. My mother has called 8 times in 15 minutes. I silence the ringer and slip the phone into the pocket of my jeans. Not today. Instead, I settle into the Adirondack chair I assembled myself yesterday, after writing invitations, and watch the sun sink lower, painting the water in shades of amber and rose. The lake house isn't enormous: 4 bedrooms, open kitchen, stone fireplace, but every inch belongs to me. Every decision, from the sage green exterior paint to the vintage brass doorknobs, reflects choices I made without seeking anyone's approval. My phone vibrates again, persistent as a wasp. When I glance at the screen, Jennifer's comment appears. "You deserve this and more. Can't wait to see it in person." Monday morning at work brings 6 voicemails from my mother, each progressively more frantic than the last. "Quinn, call me back immediately. Where did you get money for a house? Your father wants to know. This is completely irresponsible behavior. Call us. People are asking questions we can't answer. How do you think this makes us look? Your brother is driving to your work right now. You better be there. The final message arrives at 10 a.m. There's a family emergency meeting tomorrow night. We expect you there. Don't make this worse than it already is. I delete them all and make blueberry pancakes in my new kitchen. By afternoon, I've hung curtains in the master bedroom and assembled the patio furniture when my work phone rings. It's Jennifer. Your brother showed up at the office looking for you, she says without preamble. He seemed pretty shaken when I told him you'd taken the week off. Asked if I knew where you were. What did you tell him? That your whereabouts weren't my information to share. Then he got that Edwards family look, you know, the one like I was the unreasonable one for respecting your privacy. I laugh, surprising myself with the sound. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. He cornered Devin from accounting, who mentioned something about Michigan. So heads up, they might figure it out. I gaze out at my lakefront property, where autumn leaves drift across fresh-cut grass. Let them. Saturday brings my improvised housewarming. Colleagues from the agency arrive with practical gifts and genuine smiles. My boss Greg brings an expensive bottle of Cabernet with a handwritten note, to celebrating yourself. We toast on the deck while watching boats drift by. Mrs. Bennett arrives last, her silver hair swept into an elegant bun. She carries a quilt made from fabric scraps in shades of blue and green. For your bedroom, she says, eyes crinkling with warmth. Every home needs something handmade with love. I blink back unexpected tears as she wraps her arms around me. I'm so proud of you, she whispers. We grill steaks and corn on the deck. Someone brings a portable speaker, and 80-second music mingles with laughter and conversation. I take photos of everything. Friends sprawled on new furniture, sunset reflections in windows, Mrs. Bennett teaching Jennifer how to properly fold napkins. I post these images too, each one highlighting the absence of my family, while showcasing the people who actually show up for me. Sunday evening, my father texts, "Where did you get house money?" Answer immediately. I pour another glass of wine and don't respond. On Monday, I came back to work, and the family gossip network was fully activated. My cousin Elaine calls, voice hushed with calculated concern. "Everyone's talking about your lake house," she says. "Aunt Claudia is beside herself. Uncle Richard wanted to call a family meeting, but you weren't there." "I was busy hanging shelves," I reply, surprised by my own calm. "Quinn." She pauses dramatically. "People are saying things." "What things?" "That you've been hiding money. That you're having some kind of breakdown. That this is all because you're jealous of Miles's success." I laugh then, a real laugh that bubbles up from somewhere new inside me. That sounds exactly like something my family would say. The call that finally comes Thursday night is from my mother. I answer on the fourth ring, settling into my porch swing. "Quinn, Elizabeth Edwards." She begins, voice tight with controlled fury. "This has gone far enough. The Petersons, the Carsons, even Reverend Wallace has asked about your situation." My situation? This attention-seeking behavior. Buying a house without consulting the family. Posting those photos. People are asking questions. I rock gently, watching a heron glide across the water. "What questions?" Her voice drops to a whisper. "Why you would need to buy yourself a birthday present. Why we weren't there to help you celebrate. It's creating a very uncomfortable situation for this family." "How interesting." I keep my voice light. It's almost like actions have consequences. "We need to fix this." Her voice hardens with purpose. "I'm organizing a family dinner Sunday night. Your father and I will explain that this was all a misunderstanding. That we've always supported you." The old Quinn would have agreed immediately, desperate to smooth things over. But that Quinn doesn't live here anymore. "I'm available Tuesday next week," I say instead. 7 o'clock, and I'll bring the photo albums. "What photo albums?" I smile into the phone. The ones I've been keeping since I was 11 years old, documenting everything. Documenting. For once, my mother has nothing to say. On Tuesday next week, the granite steps of my parents' mansion stretch before me like a courthouse walkway. I grip the 3 photo albums tighter against my chest, my knuckles whitening around their edges. The evening sun casts long shadows across the manicured lawn, shadows that seem to reach for me, trying to pull me back into old patterns. I ring the doorbell instead of using my key. Tonight, I'm not family. I'm a prosecutor with evidence. The heavy oak door swings open. Dad stands there, all 6'2" of him framed in the doorway, his silver hair perfectly combed despite the hour. His eyes flick to the albums in my arms, then back to my face. "You're late," he says, turning away without waiting for a response. No hug, no smile, just criticism. I follow him into the foyer where Mom waits, tissues already clutched in her hand. Her eyes are red-rimmed, makeup carefully applied to look like she's been crying without actually ruining her appearance. "Quinn," her voice breaks dramatically. "We've been so worried." I don't answer. The script is too familiar, her tears, my guilt, my eventual surrender. Not tonight. Miles appears from the living room, drink in hand. He pauses when he sees me, his expression shifting from casual confidence to something uncertain. I stand straighter, holding his gaze until he looks away first. "Dinner's getting cold," Mom says, turning toward the dining room. The table is set with the good china, candles flickering in sterling silver holders. A peace offering, or a bribe. I place the photo albums on the sideboard and take my usual seat opposite Miles, diagonal from the head of the table where Dad reigns. "Your mother made your favorite," Dad says, serving himself first as always, beef Wellington. "It hasn't been my favorite since high school. Miles prefers it. Let's just cut to the chase," I say, leaving my plate empty. "I know why you called this dinner." Mom sets down her fork with a theatrical sigh. "Quinn, sweetheart, we're just concerned about your impulsive decisions. Buying that lake house without consulting us?" Dad interjects, knife slicing through his meat with surgical precision. It reflects poorly on the family image. Reckless spending, poor financial planning. "It was my bonus money," I say quietly. "Money that could have been invested properly," he continues as if I hadn't spoken. "Or contributed to something meaningful for the family." Miles clears his throat. "Quinn, no one's saying you can't have nice things, but maybe selling it would keep peace in the family. Mom's been crying every night." Mom dabs at eyes that remain suspiciously dry. "You're breaking your mother's heart," she whispers. I push back my chair and walk to the sideboard. The album feels heavy in my hands as I return, placing it at the center of the table. "I brought something I thought you should see." Dad's mouth tightens. "We don't have time for scrapbooks." "Make time." My voice doesn't waver. I open the first album, pages of Miles in party hats, Miles blowing out candles, Miles surrounded by towers of presents. Ages 6 through 25, each birthday documented with professional photography. "Turn to page 16, I tell Miles. He hesitates, then flips the page. A photo of his 18th birthday. A car with a giant bow, Dad handing him keys, Mom crying tears of actual joy. I slide the second album forward. "This one's mine." Mom reaches for it first. Her fingers tremble slightly as she opens it. Empty pages stare back at her. A few scattered photos, me alone with store-bought cupcakes. One of Mrs. Bennett hugging me on my 30th. Nothing else. There was nothing to put in it, I explain. "On my 21st birthday, you were at Miles's engagement party. Remember?" Miles flinches. I open the third album without waiting for a response. Family vacations, Disney World, the Grand Canyon. European tours. "I'm not in these because I wasn't there," I say. "I was left with Grandma, or at summer camp, or told there wasn't enough money for everyone to go." Dad stands abruptly, chair scraping against hardwood. "What's the point of this melodrama, Quinn? You've always been the difficult one." The point is evidence. Next comes a spreadsheet, printed and highlighted. This tracks family spending. Miles versus me. College tuition. Birthday gifts. Car down payments. Family trips. The numbers tell their own story. Thousands for Miles, hundreds for me. "And this," I say, pulling out a worn diary page, "is from when I was 9. I read aloud, "Maybe next year they'll remember my birthday without Grandma calling to remind them." Finally, I produce a photograph. Christmas dinner, 3 years ago. An empty chair at the table, a place setting with my name on a card. I was in Chicago, working. You knew I couldn't come, but you set a place anyway, took this picture, and sent it to me with, "We missed you." You wanted me to feel guilty for not being there. But I was the only one who noticed something. I point to the chair. "Look closer." Mom takes the photo, squinting. "That's not my usual chair," I say quietly. "That's where guests sit. Even when you're pretending I belong, I'm still an outsider." The silence stretches between us, taut as a wire. Dad's face darkens to crimson. "What do you want from us, Quinn? An apology? Fine. We favored Miles. He was always the priority. He's carrying on the Edwards name, the Edwards legacy. Mom crumples, real tears now. We didn't mean to. It just happened. And then it became a pattern, and I was easier to ignore. I finish for her. Miles hasn't spoken. He's staring at a photo I deliberately placed at the edge of the table. Him at 8, surrounded by presents. Me at 6, watching from the background, mouth tight in a smile that doesn't reach my eyes. I stand, gathering my evidence except for the albums. Those I leave behind. I don't need your approval anymore. I say, voice clear and steady. I don't need your love or your attention or your validation. I waited 32 years for you to see me. I'm done waiting. I turn toward the door, shoulders straight, steps unhurried. Behind me, Miles calls my name. Mom sobs. Dad remains silent. I pause at the threshold, not looking back. The albums are yours to keep. Consider them a gift. The door closes behind me with a quiet click that echoes like thunder. A year later, on my birthday, the morning sun paints gold across my lake house deck as I arrange a tray of fresh fruit beside a champagne bucket. 33 candles waited on the cake. Jennifer insisted on bringing one for each year, plus one for luck. Need any help? Mark from marketing calls from the sliding door, balancing a platter of pastries. Just set those anywhere. I smooth my red sundress and check my watch. Everyone should be here within the hour. A year makes quite the difference. Last birthday, I sat alone in my apartment with a store-bought cake. Today, my deck bustles with colleagues and new friends, all here to celebrate me. My phone buzzes with congratulatory texts about my promotion to senior director. The timing feels poetic, announced yesterday, celebrated today. The lake sparkles beyond the railing, reflecting the sky that matches my mood. Dr. Levine, my therapist, would call this progress. Our weekly sessions have helped me understand the family dynamics that shaped me. Generational patterns, she calls them. Breaking them takes courage. Courage looks like spending Thanksgiving at a resort in Vermont instead of my parents' house. Like muting group texts when they turn manipulative. Like building my own traditions from scratch. Quinn! Jennifer raises her mimosa glass. To the birthday girl who taught us all how to choose ourselves. Glasses clink. Laughter ripples. I absorb the warmth of genuine connection, so different from the hollow performance of family gatherings. A car door slams out front. I know that engine sound. My brother's BMW. Miles stands awkwardly at the edge of the deck, holding a wrapped package. The party conversation dims as he approaches. Sorry to crash, he says. I wanted to give you this in person. We haven't spoken since the photo album confrontation. Since he watched his perfect family narrative crumble under the weight of evidence. Join us, I say, surprising myself with how much I mean it. Later, when the party moves indoors, Miles and I sit at the end of the dock. The package rests between us, still wrapped. Therapy's been eye-opening, he admits, watching a sailboat cut across the horizon. Dad still won't go, but Mom's trying. She talks about you differently now. And you? I ask. I never saw it until you showed us. How they erased you while spotlighting me. He pushes the package toward me. Open it. Inside is a framed photograph I've never seen before. Me at 7, perched on our old tire swing, laughing at something beyond the camera. Just me. Found it in Dad's storage boxes, Miles explains. Had it restored. Proof you existed, even when nobody was looking. My throat tightens. Not a solution, but a beginning. A knock at the lake house door pulls me back to the party. Through the glass, I see my mother standing alone on the porch, clutching a small bakery box. She insisted on coming, Miles says. I didn't tell her where until today. Mom's hands tremble as she holds out the box. Inside sits a cupcake with a single candle. Happy birthday, Quinn, she whispers, her rehearsed smile faltering into something more genuine. I brought carrot cake. You always liked that, didn't you? I did, she remembered. The party's winding down, I say, stepping aside. You can stay for cake if you'd like. Her relief is palpable. Small steps. After everyone leaves, I walk back to the dock as twilight settles over the lake. Last year, I spent my birthday staring at an empty inbox in a sterile cafe. Tonight, I'm surrounded by gifts chosen with care, echoes of laughter, and the beginnings of boundaries that protect without isolating. My phone chimes with a text from Mrs. Bennett. Did you enjoy your day, dear? I smile as I type my reply. For the first time, I truly celebrated myself. The lake house windows glow behind me, light reflecting on the gentle waves. I raise my glass to my silhouette against the sunset, toasting the woman who finally learned that validation begins within. What gift have you given yourself that changed everything? The phone screen glows with false cheer, mocking me from my oak coffee table. Instagram's little red notification dot pulses like a warning signal I should have heeded. Wednesday, 12:47 p.m. The day before Thanksgiving. I tap the notification, more from habit than interest. My thumb freezes mid-scroll. There they are. All of them. The crystal glasses catch light from Mom's antique chandelier, raised high in a toast that makes my stomach clench. The cranberry centerpiece, her signature creation with fresh berries, floating in crystal tears, sparkles in the center of a table that stretches forever. Dad at the head, carving the turkey with the same knife he's used since I was little. Kyle and his wife Susan, their faces flushed with wine and warmth. My twin sister Brooke, perfect as always in her butter yellow sweater, leaning close to our cousin Rachel. Even Grandma Margaret sits there, her silver hair styled fresh from the salon, wearing the pearl necklace she promised to give me on my 30th birthday. My fingers tremble as I scroll through 7 photos. 7 moments of a family gathering I didn't know existed. The green bean casserole in Aunt Jenny's inherited Pyrex. The pumpkin pies cooling on Mom's windowsill. Everyone clustered around the piano while Uncle Jim plays, just like he does every holiday. Every holiday I used to attend. Brooke's caption sucker punches what little breath I have left. Perfect family gathering, complete at last. Complete. I check my phone for missed calls. Text messages. Some explanation that would make sense of this ambush. The screen stays stubbornly empty, except for Mrs. Reynolds' terrier barking next door, a sound that echoes through my bare apartment walls. 2 weeks ago, Mom called. I remember her voice, casual as Sunday breakfast. What are your Thanksgiving plans, dear? Nothing set in stone, I said, hope rising like a foolish bubble. I'm free if. We'll see what happens. She changed the subject so smoothly I almost missed it. Almost. Have you thought about highlighting your hair? Brooke's new color is so becoming. I should have known then. The family group text went silent last week. Kyle dodged my calls, letting them ring to voicemail. When I texted him about meeting for coffee, his response came hours later. Crazy busy with work, maybe after the holidays. Now I understand. They weren't busy. They were planning. My fingers shake as I pull up Mom's contact. 4 rings stretch into forever before her voice answers, bright as artificial sweetener. Oh, Lena, how are you? The false surprise in her tone makes my teeth ache. Mom, is everything all right? You sound strange. I stare at the Instagram photos still burning on my screen. You had Thanksgiving today. A pause, just long enough to choose her words. Well, yes. We decided to do something small this year, just immediate family. I'm immediate family. Oh, Lena. Her sigh carries decades of disappointment. I assumed you'd be too busy. You never seem to enjoy these things anyway. Always sitting in corners with your sketchbook, barely talking to anyone. My throat closes around words I can't force out. She fills the silence, efficient as always. It's not personal, Lena. The smile in her voice feels like sandpaper. You're just not really the festive type. Not personal. Like the time they forgot to wait for me to open Christmas presents. Like my high school graduation when they left early because Brooke had a headache. Like every birthday card that arrived 3 weeks late, if at all. I see, I whisper. But Mom's already talking about Brooke's promotion and Kyle's new boat and how lovely everything was. Just lovely. I hang up mid-sentence. My reflection catches in the dark phone screen. Pale face, eyes bright with tears I didn't notice falling. Behind me on my desk sits the last family photo I'm in, taken 5 years ago at Brooke's wedding. I'm at the edge of the frame, half cropped out, smiling so hard my cheeks hurt. The question rises like bile. Was I ever really part of this family? The answer stares back from 7 perfectly filtered photos of a perfect family gathering, complete at last. Without me. My fingertips hover over the Instagram search bar, muscle memory betraying my better judgment. I type my mother's name. Patricia Blake, a woman whose life exists in perfect squares, each photo filtered to magazine quality. February. Mom beaming beside Brooke at her promotion party. January. The family gathered around Kyle's new sailboat, champagne bottles glinting in winter sun. Last Christmas. Everyone in matching sweaters by the fireplace. Thanksgiving before that, turkey dinner with all the aunts and uncles. Pattern recognition hits like a thunderclap. In photo after photo, I'm not just missing, I've been carefully excised. When I was there, I appear at the edges, half cropped out or blurred in the background. A ghost haunting my own family album. The attic box of childhood photos sits accusingly in my closet. I drag it out, sneeze at the dust, and start digging. The evidence has been here all along, written in Kodak moments and careful omissions. My childhood bedroom, the converted storage space at the far end of the hall, while Brooke's princess suite connected directly to Mom and Dad's room. Kyle's old baseball trophies still command the living room mantel. My watercolor that won the state competition, buried in a basement box labeled Misc Items. Why can't you be more like your sister? Mom's voice echoes through 1,000 memories. The day of Brooke's sweet 16, 100 guests in the backyard, 3-tier cake, professional photographer. My 16th birthday 2 hours later, a grocery store cupcake and Kyle's hastily signed card. My phone buzzes. Sarah. I just saw the photos, she says, skipping hello. Tell me you're okay. I'm fine. The lie tastes stale. No, you're not, and you shouldn't be. I've watched them do this to you for 20 years, Lena. Remember your college graduation? They left before your name was called because Brooke had a headache. I close my eyes, but the memory burns anyway. Cap and gown, scanning empty seats where my family should have been. The dean calling Lena Grace Blake, summa cum laude, to scattered applause from strangers. Sarah's voice softens. You know what makes me maddest? You're the one who actually made something of yourself. Creative director at 26? That's incredible. But they couldn't handle that, could they? Success is only success if it fits their script. My laptop sits open on the coffee table, browser still displaying the magazine feature about our agency's latest campaign. The one I designed. The one Mom never mentioned. Even though I know she saw it, she follows every design magazine in the state. Another text lights up my phone. Mrs. Reynolds next door. Saw those Thanksgiving pictures, sweetheart. My door's always open if you need company. I lean back against the couch, something shifting in my chest. All these years, I thought I was invisible. But people saw. They noticed. Just not the ones who were supposed to. The storage box beckons again. Deeper down, past school photos and piano recital programs, I find my old journals. The spiral notebook from 7th grade falls open to a tear-stained page. Maybe if I'm quieter, they'll notice me more. Maybe if I don't ask for anything, they'll want to give. Maybe if I fold myself small enough, I'll finally fit. A Christmas photo slips from between the pages. Twin girls in matching dresses, except one pile of presents towers, while the other holds 3 small packages. Brooke's smile radiant, mine wavering at the edges, always at the edges. My work laptop hums to life. The portfolio I assembled for my promotion interview fills the screen, campaigns that have won awards, designs featured in national magazines. Success they never celebrated, achievements they refused to see. The truth crystallizes, sharp and clean as winter air. Their rejection was never about my worth. It was about their inability to see it. My phone pings with an email notification. Jake, my cousin. Subject line. You need to know the truth about Thanksgiving. My hands don't shake as I click open. For the first time in 26 years, I'm ready to see exactly what I'm dealing with. The first line stops my breath. They've been planning this for months. The screen of my phone glows with Jake's message, each word a hammer strike against my chest. They've been planning this for months. Screenshots spill across my screen in rapid succession. Our family group text, the one I never knew existed, 2 months of meticulous Thanksgiving planning. Mom's crystal clear instruction floats at the top. Don't mention this to Lena. Below it, Brooke's response punches the air from my lungs. She'd just make it awkward anyway. My fingers curl into fists. The familiar urge to shrink, to apologize for existing, rises like bile. But something else rises faster, a quiet fury that steadies my hands as I open my laptop. The cursor blinks in a fresh document. Words pour out, then stop. No. Not another desperate plea for inclusion. Not this time. Instead, I create a new folder. Family evidence. Screenshot after screenshot drops into place. Mom's casual dismissals. Brooke's calculated cruelty. The paper trail of 1,000 little cuts, organized with the same precision I bring to my design campaigns. The irony would be funny if it didn't ache. Yesterday, Portland Creative announced my promotion to creative director, the youngest in the firm's history. My nonprofit campaign about family connection went viral last month, featured in Ad Week, shared by celebrities. The billboards I designed line the highway into downtown. Everyone deserves to belong. My bank statement glows on the screen. 6 figures in savings, more in investments, the financial independence they never acknowledged because it didn't fit their narrative of helpless, awkward Lena. The phone rings. Mom's number. I saw the photos, I say before she speaks. My voice surprises me, steady, controlled. I saw the group texts. I know this was deliberate. Oh, Lena. Her sigh carries decades of practiced disappointment. You're being dramatic. You wouldn't have enjoyed it. You're right. The words taste like freedom. I wouldn't enjoy being with people who don't want me there. The silence stretches. For once, she has no ready answer. My doorbell chimes. Sarah stands there, wine bottle in one hand, tissue box in the other. I saw your sister's post, she says. I brought reinforcements. While Sarah pours the wine, my phone lights up with messages. Director Johnson. That campaign pitch you mentioned, it's yours if you want it. Full creative control. Mrs. Anderson from the coffee shop downstairs. Join us tomorrow. There's always room at our table. Mark from the design team. Our design family has your back. I open my journal, the one I've kept since I was 12. Page after page documents the pattern. Forgotten birthdays, missed recitals, empty chairs at my graduations. Each entry written in a child's careful hand, hoping that if she documented everything perfectly, someone would finally see her. Someone finally did. Just not them. My hands move across the keyboard, creating a new document. Every slight, every exclusion, every moment they made sure I knew I didn't belong. The file grows, organized with brutal clarity. No tears blur my vision. No tremor shakes my fingers. What are you going to do? Sarah asks, refilling our glasses. I save the document. I'm done chasing their approval. My phone buzzes again, another family photo from Brooke. Everyone gathered around the piano, singing carols 2 days before Thanksgiving because they knew I wouldn't be there to see it. I open my email. The cursor blinks at the top of a blank message. Recipients. All 47 members of the extended family. Subject line. Why I'm no longer part of this family. Sarah reads over my shoulder. Are you sure? The truth settles into my bones, solid as bedrock. I've never been more sure of anything. My finger hovers over the send button. In my mind, I see them all sitting around Mom's dining room table, phones buzzing in perfect synchronization. I see Brooke's face as she realizes her perfect family narrative is about to shatter. I see Mom reaching for an explanation that won't come. Outside my window, Portland's lights sparkle against the evening sky. My reflection in the glass shows someone I barely recognize. Straight spine, steady gaze, the last traces of that desperate-to-please girl finally falling away. The truth stretches out before me like a road. I've spent 26 years trying to earn my place at their table. Now I understand, some tables aren't worth sitting at. My finger moves toward the send button. Wait, Sarah says. I pause. She raises her glass. To chosen family. The corners of my mouth lift in a real smile, the kind that never appeared in their photos. To chosen family. I click send. The message whooshes into cyberspace. 47 digital copies of truth scattering like stars. In the silence that follows, I feel something shift. Not just in the air around me, but in the marrow of my bones. I close my laptop. Let them have their perfect family photos. Let them toast their perfect harmony. Let them pretend nothing exists beyond the edges of their carefully curated frame. I have something better. I have the truth. And for the first time in my life, that's enough. That same day, the clock on my laptop reads 6:59 p.m. 1 minute until Thanksgiving dinner officially starts in homes across America. My fingers hover over the keyboard, trembling slightly before settling into stillness. The draft email sits ready, 47 family members in the recipient field. At exactly 7 p.m., I press send. The whoosh of the outgoing message sounds like freedom. I lean back in my chair, counting silently. 3, 2, 1. My phone explodes. The first text comes from Brooke, her rage radiating through the screen. How dare you embarrass us like this? Take it down now. The second ping follows immediately. Mom, call me this instant. The third, you've gone too far this time. I silence my phone and turn to my laptop, watching the email responses pour in. Aunt Susan's sharp intake of breath practically echoes through her. Oh my God. Uncle Robert asking if this was some kind of mistake. Cousin Rachel sending a string of question marks. My email stands proud in their inboxes. Time-stamped proof of 26 years of systematic exclusion. Every forgotten birthday, every misplaced invitation, every family photo where I stood just outside the frame, documented with surgical precision. Screenshots of the secret group text planning yesterday's gathering. The Instagram posts, the Facebook albums, a timeline of erasure, presented in chronological order with bullet points and footnotes. My brother Kyle's response arrives last. Mom, this is cruel. Lena's right, we've been awful. A notification pops up on my laptop. Brooke's Instagram post from yesterday, the one with the perfect family Thanksgiving photo, fills with comments. Where's Lena? I can't believe you excluded your own sister. This seems deliberately cruel. Unfollowing. This is disgusting behavior. I open Instagram and navigate to my own profile. The photo I took an hour ago at my friend Sarah's house waits in draft form. In it, I'm surrounded by 6 people, coworkers, neighbors, fellow creative misfits who showed up with dishes and wine when they heard about my family's betrayal. My smile reaches my eyes for the first time in years. Caption: grateful for the family that chooses to include me. Post. The comments flood in immediately. Heart emojections from my entire design team. We love you. From the nonprofit clients whose campaigns I've led. Their loss. From college friends who witnessed years of my family's cold shoulders. Mom's contact photo lights up my phone screen again. For the first time in my life, I let her call go straight to voicemail without feeling guilty. A text from Kyle breaks through my do not disturb settings. I should have stood up for you years ago. I'm so sorry, sis. Too little, too late. But something in my chest loosens slightly at the words. My laptop pings with a new email. The subject line reads, Damage control needed immediately, from Eleanor Wright, Mom's closest friend at the country club. The preview shows 3 question marks and the words, Patricia, what have you done? I click over to Brooke's Facebook profile out of morbid curiosity. Her carefully curated image of perfect daughter, wife, and mother shows cracks in the comment section. How could you do this to your sister? Appears 5 times in various forms. Her weekly lifestyle blog post about the importance of family traditions has attracted a flood of negative responses. The carefully constructed facade crumbles in real time, one social media notification at a time. An hour later, my phone buzzes with a text from the doorman downstairs. Miss Blake, your mother is here. Should I let her up? I stare at the message, remembering every Christmas morning when my stocking hung limply empty while Brooke's and Kyle's bulged with presents. Every school play where I searched the audience in vain for familiar faces. Every achievement met with, that's nice, dear, while my siblings' smallest accomplishments earned champagne toasts. The doorman sends another text. She seems quite upset, says it's urgent. A strange calm settles over me as I type my response. No, Tom, I'm not available. Yes, Miss Blake. I walk to my window, 16 stories above Portland's rain-slicked streets. From this height, I can just make out a figure in a camel haircoat pacing in front of my building's entrance. She looks small from up here, powerless. My phone lights up with a call from a number I don't recognize. When it goes to voicemail, a familiar voice fills the speaker, Margaret Truitt, Mom's oldest friend from Garden Club. Patricia, I never would have believed it if I hadn't seen the evidence myself. To exclude your own daughter so systematically, I'm horrified. Simply horrified. Consider my annual donation to your Christmas charity gala withdrawn. A smile tugs at my lips as I imagine Mom's face when she hears that message. Her precious social standing, built on decades of carefully maintained illusions, dissolves like sugar in rain. Another text from Kyle. Mom's losing it. Half her bridge club just canceled their memberships. Brooks locked herself in her bathroom crying. Dad actually raised his voice. I screenshot his message and add it to my growing folder of family correspondence. Not out of spite this time, but as a reminder, this is what happens when masks slip and truth speaks louder than lies. My laptop pings with a new email notification. The subject line stops my breath. Documentation request, Blake Family Charitable Foundation. The prestigious law firm representing my grandmother's estate requires an immediate response regarding concerning new information about fund disbursement. I lean on the window pane watching Mom's tiny figure still pacing below. The rain falls harder now, but she doesn't move toward her car. She's used to things going her way. Used to controlling the narrative. Used to me accepting whatever scraps of attention she deigns to offer. Not anymore. My phone lights up with a final text from the doorman. Your mother wants to know if you'll at least speak to her through the intercom. I imagine her face, perfectly made up as always, crumpling with the reality that her carefully constructed world of social appearances lies in ruins. That her invisible daughter finally learned to make herself seen. That actions have consequences, even 2 decades later. No, Tom, I type back. I have nothing to say. 30 minutes later, the doorbell pierces my afternoon solitude. My fingers freeze over the keyboard where I've been answering supportive messages from colleagues. Through the peephole, I spot my mother's pearl necklace first, the one she wears when she needs to command attention. Her Chanel suit looks wrong, wrinkled from hours of sitting. Mascara shadows beneath her eyes tell stories her mouth would never admit. Miss Blake? The doorman's voice crackles through my intercom. Your mother insists on coming up. Should I let her through? A month ago, I would have scrambled to smooth my hair, change my shirt, present the version of myself she might finally approve of. Now I press the intercom button, voice steady. Yes, thank you, Robert. But please stay by the elevator. I leave the door's security chain fastened. It slides taut when she pushes against the 3-inch gap. She is here. How could you do this to your family? Her voice wavers between fury and false concern. What will people think? Hello, Mother. The word feels foreign now, stripped of its power to wound. I wondered when you'd show up. Let me in, Lena. We need to discuss this tantrum of yours. I release the chain. She sweeps past me, designer heels clicking against hardwood. The sound echoes through my apartment, my space, my sanctuary. Her eyes catalog every detail, searching for ammunition. Your grandmother hasn't slept since that email. She perches on the edge of my sofa. Is that what you wanted? To break an 80-year-old woman's heart? Interesting. I lean against my desk. She didn't look heartbroken in those Thanksgiving photos without me. You're being ridiculous. We simply assumed that I wouldn't want to come. My laptop screen glows behind me, displaying the family group text screenshots Jake sent. Or that I wouldn't find out about the 2 months of planning, the specific instructions not to tell me. Color drains from her face. Jake had no right. To tell the truth, I open my bottom drawer, lift out a thick manila folder. I have something to show you. The folder lands on the coffee table between us. Inside, programs from piano recitals where they left early, report cards filled with achievements they never acknowledged, newspaper clippings of design awards they ignored, and photographs, so many photographs where I hover at the edges, half cropped out of frame. 26 years of evidence. My voice remains quiet. Every time you chose to exclude me, every celebration I wasn't quite invited to, every accomplishment that wasn't quite worth mentioning. You're exaggerating. You were always so difficult to love, so different. The words should cut. Instead, they confirm everything. The elevator dings. Brooke bursts in without knocking, butter yellow sweater matching the one from the Thanksgiving photos. This has gotten completely out of hand. Just apologize so we can move on. Apologize? I taste the word like something spoiled. For what exactly? Having boundaries? Telling the truth? Refusing to pretend anymore? You're ruining everything, Brooke's voice cracks. The country club is buzzing. Dad's golf friends are asking questions. Grandmother might change her will. There it is. I cross to my hall closet, retrieve an envelope I prepared weeks ago. The real crisis, your carefully curated image falling apart. What's that? Mother eyes the envelope. My final words to the family. Everything I never said, written with complete clarity. I hold it out. I'm releasing you from the obligation of pretending to care about me. Obligation? Mother stands, hands trembling. I carried you for 9 months. I gave you every advantage. You gave me a roof and food, the bare minimum required by law. I place the envelope in her manicured hands. But love? That was always conditional on becoming someone I'm not. You'll regret this. She clutches the envelope like a weapon. When you're alone, when you realize what you've thrown away, the only thing I regret is waiting so long to stop auditioning for a role I was never meant to play. Brooke reaches for my arm. I step back. Don't. The word rings with quiet authority. You don't get to touch me anymore. I open my front door. Down the hall, Robert stands alert by the elevator. You're making a terrible mistake, Mother whispers. No, I smile, surprisingly gentle. I'm making a choice. The elevator doors open. They step inside, Mother's spine rigid, Brooke's shoulders shaking. As the doors slide closed, my phone buzzes. A text from Sarah. Dinner tonight? The whole gang's coming. My chosen family. The people who see me, who celebrate my successes, who love me without conditions or competitions. I type back. Wouldn't miss it. The elevator numbers descend. With each floor, another weight lifts. By the time it reaches lobby level, I'm standing straighter than I have in 26 years. A year later, sunlight streams through floor-to-ceiling windows, casting golden rectangles across my design table. The corner office still feels surreal, even after 3 months as executive creative director. A wall of inspiration boards showcases our latest nonprofit campaign, children's faces lighting up as they open books for the first time. My phone buzzes. Sarah's message appears. Everything's set for Thursday, 20 confirmed for Orphans Thanksgiving. A smile spreads across my face as I type back. Perfect. I'll pick up extra cranberries. No crystal tears needed, we serve ours in mismatched bowls collected from thrift stores, each with its own story. The intercom chimes. Miss Blake, your 3 o'clock is here. Send them in, Carol. My voice carries the quiet authority I've grown into, like a second skin. The door opens, revealing Marcus, our newest junior designer. Dark circles shadow his eyes, the same haunted look I used to see in my mirror. The mock-ups aren't quite right, he stammers. I can work through the weekend to fix them. Sit. I clear space on my coffee table, the one I rescued from a vintage shop in the Pearl District. Show me what you have. He spreads his work before me, hands trembling. The designs are beautiful, but I see what he means. Something's missing. The kind of missing that comes from trying too hard to be perfect. Tell me about your first memory of feeling safe, I say. His head snaps up. What? This campaign is about domestic violence shelters. Before we fix the design, I need to know what safety feels like to you. An hour later, Marcus leaves with tear tracks on his cheeks and a completely new direction for the campaign. My own eyes are damp, but my smile holds steady. A year ago, I would have pushed him to work harder, faster, better, echoing Patricia's voice in my head. My phone lights up again. A text from Kyle. Hey sis, Dad's birthday next week. I know you won't come, but I wanted you to know you're welcome. The invitation slides off me like water. No ripples, no pain. Thanks for thinking of me. Already have plans, but I hope it's a good celebration. The reply comes quickly. Miss you, lunch sometime? I consider it for a moment. Maybe after the holidays. Take care, Kyle. My calendar notification pings. Therapy in an hour. Dr. Warner's office has become a sanctuary of sorts, with its worn leather chairs and walls of books. Last week she said something that stuck. You didn't lose a family, Lena. You escaped a performance. The words rang true in a way that finally let me delete Instagram from my phone. A stack of RSVPs sits on my desk, responses to next month's gallery opening. My first solo show, featuring portraits of chosen families in all their beautiful, messy configurations. Patricia's invitation was returned unopened. Brooke's response card came back with a terse unable to attend. The ache is there but distant, like pressing on an old bruise and finding it's finally healed. My assistant knocks, holding a registered letter. This just came for you. The return address stops my breath. Whitman and Associates, my grandmother's lawyers. Inside, legal language gives way to a handwritten note, the paper thin and fragile as autumn leaves. My dearest Lena, I saw you. All those years, watching from the edges, creating beauty in quiet corners while they performed their perfect family pageant. I'm sorry I never said this while I was alive. Words came harder with age, and courage even harder still. But I've made what amends I can. The trust is yours, no strings, no conditions. Use it to build the life you are always meant to live. And remember, belonging isn't earned, it's recognized. All my love, Grandma Margaret. Beneath the letter, the trust document spells out numbers that make my fingers tremble. But it's not the money that brings tears. It's the last line of her note. P.S. I kept every drawing you slipped under my door at family gatherings. They're in the vault at Whitman's. Your talent was never invisible. Not to me. The afternoon sun slants amber through my windows as I draft an email to the firm's charitable foundation. A new scholarship program, the Margaret Blake Fund for Overlooked Siblings. 4-year art school grants for younger brothers and sisters who create in the shadows of golden children. My office phone rings, the main reception desk. Miss Blake? The holiday party setup team needs your approval on the decorations. In the lobby, our staff has transformed the space into a winter wonderland. No sterile perfection here. Handmade paper snowflakes dangle from ceiling tiles, and someone strung popcorn garlands between departments. The corporate event planner looks horrified, but I see the delight on my employees' faces. It's perfect, I tell her. Exactly what I wanted. My reflection catches in the lobby windows, strong, serene, dressed in clothes I chose for comfort rather than Patricia's approval. Behind me, the design team argues happily about ornament placement, while the copywriters string lights through the break room. Sarah's evening text arrives right on schedule. Family dinner Sunday? Trying that new Thai place on Hawthorne. My thumbs tap out the only possible reply. Wouldn't miss it for the world. The setting sun paints Portland's skyline in shades of possibility. I am Lena Blake, and I finally know where I belong. Standing in my corner office, watching my work family transform our space with imperfect joy, I understand what Grandma Margaret meant. Belonging isn't a performance. It's coming home to yourself and finding others already waiting there, arms open, no audition required.